All right, back to regular scheduled program. So today I want to talk about one of the most important pillars, I believe, for self improvement, and it's nutrition. Shocker, I know. Everyone keeps trying to downplay nutrition, and I really just don't understand it. Because when you really think about it, what you gain when you have mastery over everything that you consume, because you have to eat every day. If you're doing one meal a day, keto, carnivore, vegan, it doesn't matter. You still have to eat something basically every day. You might fast every other day. Very few people do that, but at the end of the day, every day you're going to have to eat. So every day becomes a test that you can keep commitments to yourself, that you can actually eat the foods that we were designed to eat. And when you pass those tests, you vibrate so much higher, and that bleeds into other aspects of your life. Because it's very easy to write a paper. Oh yeah, hormones, testosterone, all those things. But at the end of the day, nutrition and self improvement. Nutrition is how you gain mastery over yourself. When you eat the same meals every day and you stop eating for taste, that's going to be one of the biggest things that you're going to face in this journey. Is when you eat for taste, when you eat for dopamine hits, you can't do that. See, the problem is when you eat like that all the time, that's how you end up overweight. That's how you end up with the 40-inch waist. And this is something we have to talk about more. There are women out there, they might be 5'4", and they probably weigh 40 pounds more than I do. That's really crazy. They're quite literally, they weigh more than an NFL linebacker. Yet they're going to tell you about moderation and balance. Your waist size is not in balance. It's really crazy. Side tangent, but man, you have to really be careful of the people you listen to, because the people that are telling you moderation and all these things are, oh, live a little. Yeah, it's okay to drink. They do it way too much. None of those people who preach in moderation do those things with moderation. They themselves are very out of balance. I'd rather be going to the gym every other day than not going at all and being hella overweight. If that offends someone, it is what it is. But you just have to understand how important nutrition is. Anyone that thinks finances or anything else is more important, you're cooked. It's that simple. In what world does it make sense as something more important than your actual health? Because when you do get the $1 million, you're not going to live long enough to spend it. You're going to die from a stroke, heart attack, a cholesterol, something. You're going to die from something. So that's why you have to prioritize health as the most important thing. It doesn't make sense to put something above it. Because the gym is just as important, don't get me wrong, but nutrition is the most important thing. That's what's going to separate the winners and the losers, because they're plain people. Yeah, you'll work out, you take it serious, and then you go to Popeyes or something. You get some nonsense food that you know you should be eating. But oh, you worked a little bit, you trained hard, so you deserve it. No, you don't deserve shit. That's the mindset you have to have. You actually don't deserve anything. Because if you want these results, the results don't care how you feel. They still expect you to show up every day, be in a caloric surplus or deficit. It doesn't matter what you feel. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You still got to take nutrition seriously. This is why I started my journey for getting lean, because when you restrict yourself from food daily, it's so hard to explain. Like the confidence you gain in yourself in the mirror that, oh, wow, you can actually do that. You know, next week, it'll be a month of me eating the same meals day in and day out with no cheat meals, none of that nonsense, just the same meals like I said I would every single day. That's another vote of confidence for the version of myself that I want to get to, the one that can keep commitments, is disciplined, self mastery, and is in shape in the leanest version. That's why it's important that you get lean, you work out, you do all these things, because they're just casting votes for that version of yourself that you want. But nutrition specifically, it's really going to separate it, because you look at work, look at your coworkers, look at how much they often they snack. They might wake up, they'll have a Starbucks Frappuccino or whatever, some donuts, only carbs. They're going to have only a carb heavy meal in the morning, and they'll have maybe one meal when they get home, and it might be 20 grams of protein. So chronically under eating protein, high carbs, no fat, the worst diet, literally. They have a high carbohydrate diet. Not to say carbs are bad, but if you're having that much carbs, your protein goal, you better be hitting that too. You can't just eat what you want when you feel like it. You got to eat every day. You have to show up every day. See, nutrition, it teaches you that. You have to show up every day, eat right every day. That's how you separate yourself, because that's what's going to give, your muscles the fuel they need to recover, and also make your hormones function right, so that you can be in a fat burning state more often. And you won't store as much fat. There's a lot of benefits to consistently eating right, that's why it's important that you have to keep eating right every day, not when you feel like it. See, many of us, you're gonna clock out, 2, 3 weeks. See, for me, the biggest thing was realizing, oh, if you actually commit to it like a lifestyle instead of just a couple of weeks, that's where the real growth is. Like when I genuinely locked in, 2 inches off my waist in 4 weeks, and I'm already lean. That's how I know, like, oh wow, okay, like we can actually do this, and it wasn't difficult. Once you understand how important this stuff is, it becomes a lot easier, because you're not gonna sugarcoat. You're not gonna eat for taste. You're just gonna eat for fuel, primarily to fuel your body, repair your muscles, so you can be in the leanest, most muscular phase possible. That's why it's important you eat the right meals. I cannot stress enough. You have to eat the right meals consistently every day. Eat that ground beef, eat those eggs, the salmon, fish, whatever. Your organs, if you eat organs, eat these same meals every day, even when you don't feel like it. Because a man that can do something that they don't want to do, they still show up every day, that's a powerful man. Because that's a discipline, man. And that's the most important thing. Because it's very easy. Remember, at the end of the day, self improvement is delaying gratification. It's saying, okay, I don't want to wake up at 4:30 to work out, but I still do it. I still show up, because I know that gets me close to my purpose, gets you closer to God. On the other side of discomfort is everything you want and more. That's what the self improvement journey teaches you. But when you master nutrition, that's going to be the biggest fault, that you really can make commitments to yourself, and you can delay gratification by what you eat every single day. And you get so powerful with your ability to say no to foods. If someone has your favorite Oreos or Chips Ahoy cookie in front of you, you're still going to say no. Because that cookie, you having that cookie, when it's not on your own terms, you recognize that that's a lot more harmful than you think. That's the thing too. See, there's nothing wrong with cheat meals. Even the idea of a cheat meal, it's just a meal. We've assigned a negative connotation to it. But a lot of people have these meals, and it's not on their own terms. You might think it's on your terms, but it's not. You couldn't lock in for the 7th day. So on the 6th day, you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll just have a cookie. I've done good enough. But if you've gotten to the point you want to get to, or you're really in shape, you're already lean, and then you have the cookie, then boom, it's fine, because that one cookie won't throw you off the rail. But many people, they haven't vibrated highly enough, I think, to get to the point where you can do that. You have to be able to get away with that, but you have to vibrate at a certain point to do that. But that's another thing too. What I realized being around people that take their health seriously is, even if they can, they won't. And if they do, it's very, very infrequent, because they know, yeah, it costs a lot more than it's not just it being one meal. It's a vote of confidence back to that older version, the version that you don't want to be, that you're trying to separate yourself from. That's where I'm like, the cheat meals, you have to chill. But if you can go multiple months eating the same meals every day, and that's why I always say it has to be for months, because it's gonna take a couple of months for identity to really shift. See, for me, it's almost a month. I'm like, okay, but the job's not finished. There's still much further ways that we can push this, so I'm gonna keep going, keep eating the same meals, and see what happens. But just seeing how I feel, and how my waist is shrinking, everything else, and I'm getting stronger in the gym. It's a lot of things that you would never thought were possible that are when your diet is locked in and your sleep too. Like when everything is locked in and genuinely locked, which this is the first time for me. That's why it's so eye opening. When all aspects are dialed, shit's I'm telling you, the people around you will notice. They'll feel the energy, but you'll feel it too, because you just start moving differently. You don't get tired. Boom, 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 boom. You can do whatever. You can do it. So much things. You can push yourself so much harder in the gym, because everything else you've done outside the gym is in place and locked in. So that's the thing too. The gym can be very cruel, but it's very rewarding if you give it everything. That's why respect now the more the all in mentality. So yeah, we go all in the gym and this health stuff now, genuinely for the first time, and let me see what happens. And if I see that doesn't work, then yeah, we'll go out to moderation. But I know anyone, especially now, when you're in that all in mentality, that gives you the most power because you're like, whatever it takes, job's not finished. You're gonna keep going. And I think that's really the key that separates a lot of people. It's like, how badly do you want it? Because at the end of the day, we're all dudes, right? We're all competing innately, even though at the end of the day, you're competing with yourself. If you beat yourself, you're going to be able to beat everyone else, but we're still innately competing with everyone else, which I think people forget. For that one, there's one job and there's 5 people. So what determines if you get that job? It's going to be doing these things. What you do in the dark, that gets revealed in the light. Because you know, if you have a coworker and they got a crazy gut, but every time you see them at work, they have a salad, you know, behind closed doors, they're eating crumble. They're eating the Oreos. They're not doing the things that they need to do, and it's going to show. So when you really take care of yourself in the dark, it's going to get revealed in the light. There's a better physique, higher standards. Because I'm telling you guys firsthand, you're not going to tolerate bullshit when your health is like really locked in. Because by consequence, the people you interact with, you're like, damn, all they do is eat out, all they do is drink, all they do is smoke. I don't want to be around that because I know that's straying me further from my purpose. And a lot of you aren't ready for that. It's going to cause you to friends that you thought would have been day ones, or they were day ones, you're not going to talk to anymore because you've outgrown them, but you've outgrown them as a consequence to your standards vibrating so highly because you start taking your health seriously. You recognize how important this stuff was. And when you start vibrating that way, that manifests in separation and in the loneliness or the self-improvement monk mode arc, as we call it, which is what I'm currently going through right now. But the nutrition it's a gateway into all these things. All these things make sense. If anyone's watching this, you have to genuinely walk the path and walk it for a really long time. Bare minimum 5 years, if not more. Well, I mean, it's a lifestyle at the end of the day, but when you start in the beginning, you might not think that, but as you vibrate more and more and keep going throughout the journey, you're going to recognize, oh, this is lifestyle. This is my identity. I just work out. I just wake up early and work out because that's what I do. It's not hard. It's not difficult. I eat the same meals and it's easy because I don't eat for taste. So if you eat for taste, you're already lost. You're cooked. But if you eat to fuel, which is the actual purpose of fuel, is to fuel your body, it becomes very easy to eat the same boring meals over and over and over again. And me, I'm not gonna lie, some ground beef and rice, oh my god, that's the best meal. Sometimes I think, damn, there's no way I get to eat this every day and it tastes good. People would look at me like I'm crazy. Yet they'll go to Chick-fil-A and eat something with 40 ingredients. That's why you have to listen to people that are where you want to be or are doing the things you want to do. If they're not in shape, they don't know anything about health, they don't work out, why would you listen to them? What they say is irrelevant because they don't do those things. So what they say is irrelevant. They don't know what healthy is, and that manifests in them being overweight. And this is going to make you sound like an asshole to a lot of people, but that's how it is. Reality is very objective. It's very straightforward. It's not going to lie to you. If you say you're locked in and you're 400 pounds, you're not locked in. And if you think it's okay to be 400 pounds, then your standards are just actually in the fucking, like, they're dog water. They're literally in hell. And you have to raise them because that's the only way you're going to get out of that size. Because 400 pounds, I don't care what anyone says. It's not okay. It's not okay. And we all know it's not okay, but you want everyone to feel good. A lot of people just need to be told, like, you're fucking fat. You need to lock in. That's it. You're eating like a bitch. You are literally the big back. You're the big back of the big backs. You need to lock in, like, now. Not yesterday. You need to lock in now. Because if you don't lock in now, you're going to die. Literally. It's the most important thing. We can't keep downplaying how important health is. So I keep making these videos because it has to be said over and over again. Because when you look around you, no one's in shape. Everyone's overweight. Because everyone eats for taste. That's why we have to be the exception. You have to be the exception. Stop eating for taste, please. Stop eating for taste. That's it. Just stop eating for taste and lock in. That's it.